There comes a moment in every life when the waters seem too deep, the currents too strong, and the path ahead impossible. It is in these moments, when reason argues for surrender, when logic presents no escape, that a deeper truth calls to be known. The same power that once made a way through the waters still moves today, not as an external force, but as the unseen hand responding to the one who dares to believe. This is not a story of history, but of law, an eternal principle that, when understood, transforms obstacles into open roads and impossibilities into fulfilled realities. If you find yourself before a sea of uncertainty, if the way seems lost, know this: the waters are not barriers. They are obedient servants to the one who commands them from within. The way is already made. Your only task is to see it done. The world you see, the circumstances you face, and the challenges that appear before you are not separate from you. They are mirrors, perfect reflections of the consciousness you embody. What you entertain in the silence of your mind, what you assume to be true about yourself and your life, must externalize itself as the reality you experience. The waters that seem impassable, the storms that rise against you, and the barriers that appear immovable are not external forces working against you. They are the projections of the assumptions you have accepted, the deep-seated beliefs you have allowed to take root. When fear is the dominant feeling within, the world takes the shape of limitation. It throws obstacles in your path, delays in your plans, and hardships that appear insurmountable. When doubt is given permission to reside within, the world becomes uncertain, unpredictable, and full of contradictions. But when certainty is assumed, when you know, without wavering, that the way is already made, then the world, as obedient clay in the hands of the potter, shapes itself to reveal that which you have already accepted as true within. Consider the ocean. It does not resist, nor does it struggle. It moves in response to the forces acting upon it, shifting and flowing according to the unseen influences that guide its currents. Your world is no different. It is not fixed, not rigid, not something set against you. It is fluid, ever-changing, and entirely subject to the inner command that you, whether knowingly or unknowingly, issue forth. If you stand before waters that seem to have no passage, it is not the waters that deny you. It is the belief in separation, in limitation, in external power that holds you back. The moment you shift inwardly, the external must follow. The moment you assume the feeling of already standing on dry ground, the seas have no choice but to part. The world has never been separate from you, and it never will be. The key is not in forcing change, but in recognizing that the change has already occurred the moment you accept it within. Assumption is not mere wishful thinking, nor is it idle fantasy. It is the act of consciously selecting a state and dwelling in it so completely that the world, in its obedient nature, has no choice but to conform. Every experience, every condition, and every so-called reality you encounter is the direct result of an assumption once held within. Whether you are aware of making it or not, your present world is the harvest of past inner convictions. The great secret is that assumption precedes manifestation. The world does not shape itself first and then influence what you believe. Rather, what you believe shapes the world. If you assume lack, limitation, or failure, even if you do so unconsciously, life will faithfully reflect these assumptions back to you in the form of closed doors, financial struggles, and missed opportunities. But if you assume abundance, ease, and success, regardless of what the outer world currently shows, it must, by law, rearrange itself to match the new state you have entered. This is why waiting for circumstances to change before adopting a new belief is futile. If you wait to see proof before assuming something to be true, you remain trapped in a cycle of the old reality, reinforcing what is already present instead of calling forth what could be. The waters do not part first so that you may walk. You walk first in the certainty that the waters will part. The unseen responds to the seen only when the seen is first created in the mind. Every moment, whether deliberately or passively, you are assuming something. If you wake with the assumption that today will be difficult, filled with obstacles and frustrations, that assumption dictates your perception and your experience. Conversations unfold in ways that confirm it. Events arrange themselves in alignment with it, and by the time the day ends, you have proven yourself correct. Not because the world dictated it, but because you unknowingly dictated it to the world. But assume differently. Assume that all things are working in your favor, that unseen forces move on your behalf, that solutions exist before problems arise, and watch as life begins to mirror these new convictions. Paths will open where none seem to exist. Opportunities will arise without logical explanation, and what once appeared impossible will become inevitable. The world is never withholding from you. It is only reflecting back what you assume to be true. Faith is not blind hope, nor is it a desperate wish for things to improve. Faith is the certainty that what is unseen is just as real, if not more real, than what is currently before your eyes. It is the bridge between the visible and the invisible, the tangible and the intangible, the known and the yet to be revealed. Everything that has ever come into being first existed in the unseen, in the realm of thought, in the world of imagination, before it found expression in the physical world. Faith is the force that draws that which is unseen into reality, the silent but unwavering conviction that what you have accepted in consciousness must become your experience. The mistake many make is believing only in what they can touch, hear, and see. They rely solely on their senses, allowing the current state of things to dictate what they believe is possible. But faith is the refusal to be ruled by appearances. It is the deep knowing that beyond the seeming obstacles, beyond the resistance of the physical world, there exists a reality waiting to be revealed. Faith does not argue with what is, it declares what shall be. It does not ask for signs, it creates them. It does not question if the way will be made, it walks forward as if the path already exists. Consider the waters before you, the trials that appear immovable, the conditions that seem beyond change. Without faith, they remain as they are, unyielding and impenetrable. But when faith is applied, when the unseen truth is held with absolute conviction, the world has no choice but to shift. The waters must part, not because of force or effort, but because faith has established a new reality. Faith does not waver in the presence of delay. It does not shrink when faced with contradiction. It holds firm, knowing that the longer the outer world resists, the greater the triumph when it finally conforms. Those without faith look at the storm and declare it impossible to pass. But those who understand the law of faith do not concern themselves with the storm. They concern themselves only with the conviction that the other side is already reached. The means by which it happens is irrelevant. Faith does not require understanding of the how. It does not need evidence before it believes. It is the evidence itself. The bridge between the seen and unseen is built not with effort, not with struggle, but with absolute certainty. Those who wait for proof before believing will always remain in the place where they stand, prisoners to what already exists. But those who believe first, who accept as fact that which is yet to be revealed, will find themselves walking where others fear to tread, crossing into realities that once seemed unreachable. The world bends not to those who wish, but to those who know. Imagination is not a fleeting daydream or a meaningless escape from reality. It is the most powerful force within you, the divine faculty through which all things are made. Every great achievement, every innovation, every transformation in the history of mankind began as an image in the mind of someone who refused to accept the world as it was. The unseen realm of imagination is the birthplace of all that is seen, and those who understand this truth hold the key to deliverance from any situation, no matter how impossible it may seem. The mistake most people make is believing that change must come from outside. They wait for circumstances to shift, for people to behave differently, for conditions to align before they allow themselves to believe in a new reality. But this is an inversion of the true order of creation. Nothing in the external world can change unless it first changes within. And the tool through which this change is made is imagination. What you persistently see in your mind's eye, what you claim as true in the secret place of your consciousness, must become your experience. It is law. The waters before you may seem vast and impassable, but they exist only as long as you accept them as barriers. The moment you engage the power of imagination, seeing yourself already on the other side, already free, already delivered, the waters lose their power to hold you back. They become subject to the image you hold, and in ways beyond comprehension, the path appears. This is not an act of wishful thinking. It is not a game of empty fantasy. It is the conscious direction of the creative force that has shaped worlds, the same force that still moves within you, waiting to be used. Imagination must not be used sporadically or half-heartedly. It must be applied with full conviction, with an unwavering belief that what is seen within will soon be seen without. The one who wavers between the evidence of the senses and the vision of the mind remains bound, trapped between two realities and unable to progress. But the one who holds firm to the image, refusing to entertain doubt, will find the world shifting in response. When faced with trials, most people reinforce them by dwelling on them, imagining worst-case scenarios, replaying failures, and expecting the same results as before. But the few who understand the law of imagination use it differently. Instead of accepting the appearance of things, they revise them. They see beyond what is presently in front of them and create a new picture, one in which they have already triumphed. And because the world must take the shape of what is held in mind, that vision becomes reality. Every great teacher, every enlightened soul has pointed to this truth, that imagination is the master key. It unlocks doors where none existed. It parts seas that seemed unmovable. It makes a way when all reason insists there is none. Those who neglect this power remain at the mercy of circumstance. But those who embrace it, who use it deliberately and persistently, find that nothing is impossible, for they have discovered the secret of creation itself. The power you seek, the strength you long for, the ability to transform your life and circumstances has never been outside of you. It has never been in the hands of others, in external conditions, or in forces beyond your control. The power is within you, always has been and always will be. It is not something you must acquire, it is something you must recognize. The moment you become aware of it, the moment you accept that you are the operant power in your world, everything changes. The great illusion that keeps many bound is the belief in separation, the belief that something outside of them determines their fate. They look to luck, to chance, to the decisions of others, and to the shifting conditions of the world as the causes of their experiences. They believe that power belongs to circumstances, to wealth, to authority figures, to fate, and because they assume this to be true, their lives reflect it. They live as victims of forces they do not control, as spectators rather than creators. But those who awaken to the truth understand that the external world is nothing more than a reflection of their inner state. The power to change, to overcome, to manifest the life they desire is not something they must fight for, it is something they must claim. The world does not operate independently of them, it responds to them. It is shaped by the thoughts they think, the beliefs they hold, and the assumptions they accept as true. If you stand before a challenge and believe you are powerless against it, that belief alone ensures your defeat. But if you stand before the same challenge, knowing that the power to overcome it already resides within you, the very forces that once opposed you will begin to shift in your favor. The world has no choice but to conform to the consciousness that commands it. This is not philosophy, it is law. From the beginning of time, those who understood this truth have performed what the world calls miracles. They have walked through fire unburned, parted seas that had no passage, and turned impossibilities into realities. Yet they did not possess anything that you do not also possess. They did not have more power, more opportunity, or more favor. They simply knew what others doubted, that the power to create, to transform, and to rise above all limitations is not given by the world, it is inherent within. This power does not require effort, it does not need struggle or force, it only requires recognition. The moment you accept that you are the creator of your experience, the moment you stop looking outward for permission and begin looking inward for direction, the world must rearrange itself to reflect this new awareness. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable, for nothing can stand in the way of the one who knows their own power. There is no situation, no condition, no circumstance that can overpower the one who understands this truth. The same power that moves mountains, that calms storms, that brings forth life from nothingness, is alive within you now. It has never left you. It has never been weakened. It only waits for you to claim it, to acknowledge it, and to use it with the certainty that it is yours by divine right. The same power that once parted the waters, that made a way where there was none, still moves today. It has never been lost, never diminished, never placed beyond reach. It is not a relic of the past, nor is it reserved for a chosen few. It is within you, waiting to be claimed, waiting to be used. If the path before you seems blocked, if the waters appear too deep, if the obstacles seem insurmountable, remember this: the external world is only a reflection of the inner state. What you assume to be true, what you persist in believing, what you boldly claim is already done, must manifest in your experience. It is not a question of if, but when. The moment you align yourself with the unseen reality of your deliverance, the moment you accept it as fact before the evidence appears, the way is made. Faith is your bridge, imagination is your tool, assumption is your key, the power is already yours. There is nothing to seek, nothing to chase, nothing to wait for. Stand firm in the knowing that the way is already prepared, that the waters must part before you, and that what you desire is already yours. Walk forward, not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with the certainty that the unseen world bends to the one who knows.